This is Justin Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and mentor, Joyce Rockwood, for some enlightenment on how she teaches healing from the inside out. Joyce rejoins us today to share another remarkable natural health solution, gorgeous glowing skin for life. Hello, Joyce. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Hey, Justin, it's always a pleasure to be here and be in service to your audience.
Oh, thank you. Getting right to it, please enlighten us. What would you like us to know about the connection between gut health and their skin?
Well, first thing I want everyone listening to know is that I believe and know you can have gorgeous, glowing skin naturally when you focus on three things, right? So, first is nourishment. Then we talk about detoxification and rejuvenation, which happen to be the first and the only three pillars of my healing from the inside out methodology. And when you employ these three concepts, you can look like and feel like you're aging in reverse. So let's clarify the gut for the concept or for the sake of this conversation. Okay. So for the moment, I'm talking about the gut being the colon, and your colon is the wastebasket in your body. Okay. And so this is the organ. It's the last organ that matter moves through before it makes its grand finale to the toilet bowl. Okay. And your colon is about 5 feet in length. And knowing that, if we really want to create gorgeous, glowing skin, we have to focus on nourishment first. Okay, so I'm going to talk about nourishment here because it might be something that looks very different to a lot of different people. And when you focus on feeding your body whole, clean, unprocessed foods, these foods exit your body easily. Okay, they leave very little residue. They allow the gut, the colon, this wastebasket, your bowels, to be more regular, to be more efficient. Okay, and this means that there's going to be less waste accumulating in the tissue. So that's step one. Okay, step two here is that when you have less accumulation, less toxins in the body, and just stay with me on this because this is not a simple answer, but it will make a lot of sense. When you have less toxins in the body, you allow for the most optimum environment for your old cells of every level, but we're going to talk about skin for today. You allow those old skin cells to die off and allow new cells to regenerate. Okay. When that is happening, your skin is going to mirror this internal terrain of efficiency, of the bowels moving and of the colon emptying efficiently. And that right there is a formula for youth and also for longevity. Now, when you feed your body very highly processed food, okay, this is going to create what we know as inflammation. This is going to inflame the system. It's going to congest all of the tissue, and it's going to leave a very heavy residue in the cells. Okay, now the colon is going to be challenged. Again, your gut, your colon is going to be challenged in trying to alleviate this very highly processed matter. If this kind of material is put into the body and it cannot easily process it, it gets left behind. It creates a backup in the cells, in the tissue, in the organs. And that is a lot of extra work for the body to contend with. Okay, now the skin is going to also mirror this same scenario with things like rashes, discoloration, acne, inflammation, that puffiness around the face or under the eyes, the premature lines, and the aging that we sometimes see on skin, whether it's falling, droopy, or crepe-like and not toned. Okay. So when the bowels are not functioning efficiently, and by the way, an efficient bowel moves 3 to 5 times a day. Some of you probably have your eyeballs popping out of your head right now,
Yes.
because most people, when they come to me, are having not even one movement a day. Some people are having one movement a week. Some women are having one movement every 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
So when the bowels are not functioning efficiently, which means they should be moving for one time for every meal you eat, plus another 1 or 2 times in a day. Okay, so that's 3 to 5 movements a day. The residue, the waste that's in the body, has to go somewhere. It congests the body. So now the blood is moving slower. It's moving through the body, but it's lagging. The toxicity is blocking oxygen flow to the skin, to the cells. That can make us look more pale. It can make us feel like we're not energized. It will slow down something called apoptosis, which is the dying off of cells that have died. It's the sloughing off of those cells to leave the body. Okay, so if apoptosis is not being elevated or managed well, you have cells that have actually died, but they're just sitting still in the system. They haven't fully alleviated or left the system. That makes it very difficult for new, healthier cells to come to the surface, to regenerate. Okay, when we feel sluggish, we feel unmotivated, we feel depressed, we will look tired. And when we're going to look in the mirror, we're going to seem like we're aging at a rapid speed. So the idea here, Justin, and for anyone listening who is looking to have more gorgeous, glowing skin, digestion and gorgeous, glowing skin will be enhanced with proper nourishment by eating unprocessed foods that have very easily absorbable nutrients that don't require a lot of excessive work for the organs to try and break them down. And these foods also leave the body easily. This is key. This is really key, that when we eat these cleaner, unprocessed foods, not only do the nutrients become very absorbable for the body, but the residue leaves quickly. The idea is to eat and alleviate, have it leave efficiently. We do not want this material, this toxicity, to be sitting around for days, weeks, months, or years. Okay, so the whole concept here of properly nourishing the body is to feed the body with very life-giving foods that also give us life. Our skin is not just a large organ. Our skin is the largest organ. And what we ingest will actually be mirrored on our skin. So if we're eating highly processed foods, we will inflame the body, as I said, congest the tissue, and puff up our cells. When we eat whole, unprocessed, life-giving foods, the ones that are really bright, that fill the rainbow, greens and reds and oranges, right? We will liberate our body. We will decongest the tissue. We're going to contract our cells, which is allowing them to let go of all this poisonous goop and gunk, all this toxicity. And our food is not just our medicine. It's your beauty maximizer, right? So to kind of just sum it up, if someone's diet consists of mainly very highly processed foods, they're going to have an abundance of waste in the tissue because these foods are not in alignment with human biology for the way we're intended to consume. Okay, most processed foods are designed on triggering hunger in your body so that you continue to eat more of them, and are made with very highly addictive substances like refined sugar and highly processed flour and artificial flavors that leave our body feeling unquenched and unnourished. So if we eat and we might be somewhat feeling full, but we're not really feeling satisfied, our tendency is to put more in, because conceptually and mentally we think that if we're putting into our body, we should be getting more. We should be getting more fuel. But that's not the case when we're eating foods that don't naturally fuel the body, that make the body tired and congested. So when the body's properly nourished, and it can detoxify the accumulation of all of this unwanted toxicity, and the cells are able to rejuvenate, you have a recipe for really long-term success and that gorgeous, glowing skin.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a lot to absorb. What were some of the skin issues you suffered with that you were able to clear up through diet and detox?
Yeah, I speak completely from experience. I know what it's like to have issues with your skin and feel like you're doing what you think is the right thing and not getting the results that you want. I suffered with a lot of chronic issues with discoloration and dryness and patchiness on my face. I was suffering with really severe hives. I talked about in one of our other interviews where I woke up one morning and my eyes were so inflamed that I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. I rushed myself to the hospital because I wasn't really sure what the heck was going on. And I was nervous about, my throat closing up and things like that. My arms, from fingertip to shoulder, were covered in these hives. My back and my belly were covered in these hives. And we finally discovered it was nightshade foods. But beyond that, I would also suffer in the summertime with rashes on the backs of my legs. These were really, they're not life-threatening issues, right, Justin? They're not going to kill us necessarily. But what these things started to do was they started to wear me down emotionally and make me feel very subconscious, very embarrassed. And I felt like if I was, again, someone who is really passionate about eating healthy foods, that I should look different and I should certainly feel differently than I was. And so these were some of the issues that I dealt with and confronted and was able to clear up when I learned how to properly nourish my body and detoxify my body and also support the cells in rejuvenating.
It was as if you were finding a new quality of life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And for anyone listening, I know that's probably what you feel like you're craving and you deserve. And I often speak with, you know, purpose driven entrepreneurs and busy parents and professionals who are really, quite honestly, highly successful in their careers, but they're suffering with a variety of issues. Skin can definitely be one of them. And when this is coming up and something that, is really a chronic issue, it starts to weigh you down emotionally and mentally. It's not just a physical issue. And so I really work with my clients to support them in all of these areas, not just the physical, but the emotional and the mental, because going through that process of learning how to really nourish the body and get to that other side is so empowering. And as you say, it does totally give you a new lease on life, and it takes away the leash, right? A new lease on life, and it really does foster a whole new way of being.
Well, yeah, it's going to help us with our quest for natural solutions. And there's a lot of us out there that are in need of natural solutions, but we're trying to find them. What are 3 tips you would suggest for those of us wanting to have more gorgeous, glowing skin?
Well, first of all, one of my favorites is juicing. And the reason why you always hear me profess the importance of juicing in any dietary protocol is simply because it works. My goal is to make sure that you can get the best, the fastest, the safest results possible when we're working together, and give you the tools that make you feel like you are a really true natural healer in your own home. And juicing was the very first thing that I did when I first learned more about different levels of detoxification, because I was really someone who was super passionate about eating healthy. But when I met my mentor, Gil Jacobs, and he solidified what I already knew about proper nourishment, but he helped me elevate that, the first thing he said to me was, "Kid, you got to start juicing." So back in the early 90s, I borrowed mom and dad's car and I flew myself into Macy's and I bought what was like just the cheapest juicer I could find on sale at that time because I had a very limited budget. But now I tell my clients to invest in their juicer because you're going to probably have it for over a decade. And the reason why I talk so lovingly and passionately about juicing is because let me use a metaphor here for you, okay? When you make a juice and drink a juice, okay, the juice, I want you to think about this as liquid life force nourishment going into your body, but I also want you to think about your juices like soap in your body, the same way you would add soap to your hands to wash them, shampoo to your hair to clean your hair, shampoo your hair, or detergent in your laundry to clean your clothes. We all know that water is a universal solvent, but we also know that when we add soap to the mix, it makes the water molecules wetter and it loosens the debris from either our skin or our clothes or our hair in a much more efficient way. And juicing is the soap to reduce and emulsify all of the accumulated waste, the puffiness, the toxicity that's in your body through natural means and supporting the exodus of that out of the body through the colon. So, juicing is the very first thing. Okay. And the second thing I would recommend is something called lymphatic dry brushing. This is one of the easiest, most affordable, most invigorating, fun ways to create gorgeous, glowing skin. And I'm not just talking about your complexion, I'm really talking about all of your limbs. It's like one of the most complimentary things I can have someone say to me is, wow, you have really beautiful skin. And, when I first got into detox, I remember looking at my mentor Gil's face and thinking, I don't know what this guy's doing. But I've never in my life seen skin on a human, let alone a dude, that looked like this. It was radiating, it was glowing, it was like the most pristine thing. And I said, I want to do whatever it takes to have skin like that. And I listened to everything he said. And I really do believe that I've been able to create that for myself. And it gives me such joy to be able to support my clients in doing the same thing. So when we talk about lymphatic dry brushing, we are talking about buying one of those cool brushes that you see with the long wooden handle. And we're talking about doing dry brush strokes up the limbs of the body, double strokes up the limbs of the body and down the torso. And that includes going from toe to hip. And the reason we're brushing the skin when it's dry is because the lymphatic fluid, we talked about this in one of our other videos when I interviewed Joy Daniels, right? Or Joy D. And we talk about the lymph being this clear fluid that moves through the body, but it doesn't move unless we move. So when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we want to do is dry brush our skin to get that lymphatic fluid moving, because it is going to be cleansing the blood. It's going to be moving the blood through the lymph nodes so that it can flush and move through the body and really support us with life force energy. So dry brushing the skin. Okay, I have a video on that too. And then the third thing I'm going to recommend is basically one of my most famous hashtags. It's eat a big salad. And eating a big salad, improving the volume of raw foods and plants in your diet, less processed foods, is going to elevate your digestion, going to improve colon health, going to help the bowels move more efficiently, and support that gorgeous glowing skin naturally. Because as soon as we get more baggage and toxicity out of the body, the cells are going to regenerate because the blood is going to be moving through the body with more ease and flow. And you are going to see that mirrored on your skin. Your skin is always going to mirror what is going on in your gut. So those are my top three: juicing, lymphatic dry brushing, and eat big salads. And it's always the big salads before your cooked food, by the way.
And that brushing in the shower, if it's done wet, is just not effective at all, or not quite as effective.
It's a great question, and a common question at that. I had the same question. I was like, why can't we just do it when the water's on?
Right.
So when the water has hit your skin and you dry brush the skin, supposedly it will stretch the skin, but when you do it dry, it has a different effect. So I keep my dry brush right in the bathroom, and then what I suggest is you can even keep it in the shower, and before you turn the water on, you're just going to spend about 2 minutes dry brushing that skin of yours, invigorate your body, get things going, feel really alive, feel really happy, and then you can turn the water on. Now, if you see this sort of powdery, flaky residue coming off your skin. It's not just dead skin, it's a lot of mucus that's been congesting the cells leaving the skin as well. That's why I recommend doing it in the shower versus in the middle of the bedroom or in the middle of the bathroom. We really want that stuff to go down the drain.
Oh, that makes sense. Joyce, you have a gift for the audience so we can actually get more value out of today's information and start to delve a little deeper. Please share more about that.
Absolutely. I'll also share that, the gift I have relates to a lot of the skin issues that my clients commonly come to me wanting natural solutions for. And so if you're someone who is suffering with puffiness or dryness or that sagging skin, and you're just really looking for natural ways to create more gorgeous glowing skin, my free gift is perfect for you. And it's my free juicing recipes ebook and mini masterclass video series. It's actually 2 gifts in one. And so if, you wake up in the morning and you feel like your eyes are really puffy, the lids are underneath, or if you feel like just your whole face is inflamed, that when you look at older pictures of you from when you were younger, that things looked a little bit tighter and more pristine and just more vibrant, you're going to notice that when you start cleaning the body from inside out, that all of this natural youth comes back to the tissue, and it's so effortless and it's so exciting to watch. So I welcome you to click the button down below this video so that you can get a free copy of the Juicing Recipes ebook. And what will follow that is the mini masterclass video series so that you can learn a lot more about the pitfalls to avoid and the do's and don'ts so that you can have a successful juicing experience.
If we're curious about what it's like to work with you, how can we connect, and what might we experience in that connection?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Oftentimes, when I do interviews such as this, people watching are individuals who have really suffered for a long time with various health struggles. And it might not just be about your skin, because the truth is, if your skin is something that you're not happy with, there's a systemic issue, and we get to work at that and address that at the root cause. And so I have the opportunity for you below the video to book it's a no-cost 30-minute discovery call, where I call it Be Your Own Wow Factor, where we get to talk about the current issues that you are facing, the struggles that you currently have or have had for a long time, and, find out what's really getting in the way of you creating that optimal health that you truly know you deserve. And breaking this down and sort of unpacking the pieces, because a lot of times it's not just about what we're eating. There's a lot of emotional things that are going into the mix. There's a lot of history. There may have been relationships that we've had. There's belief systems. And so it's a really exciting time for me to make a huge difference in your life by just hearing what you're saying and mirroring back to you what I think is truly possible if we can just melt away those obstacles and support you with a step-by-step process to help you experience that true, amazing, gorgeous, glowing skin and that level of vitality and health that you truly want and deserve.
Wow. Joyce, are there any inspiring thoughts you'd like to leave us with today?
I'll just say this. I truly believe that you can heal your body and create gorgeous, glowing skin naturally from the inside out. And you can create that gorgeous, glowing skin by learning how to nourish. You can create that gorgeous, glowing skin by learning how to detoxify. And you can create that gorgeous, glowing skin by learning how to rejuvenate. And teaching you how to do all of those things is what I do. But helping you to experience a life of freedom so you can make the biggest difference in the lives of others is really and truly who I am.
Wow. This has been Justin Case and Joyce Rockwood sharing a glimpse into gorgeous, glowing skin for life. Thanks for joining us. Please remember, free gifts, additional information, and links are provided in the videos. Read more. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel and continue to join Joyce in her journey.